Yes, Kelsey Lee.
What do you remember about them?
Oh, I remember I used to sit on my grandpa's knee. He died when I was about 3 or 4, not very old, but I'd always sit on his knee and he'd give me a peppermint, one of those big round ones. And he'd let me sip his tea. He liked his tea. He died the 30th. What's the date on his death?
It looks like December 14th. December 14th.
61.
1929?
So I was just 4 years old when he died.
Really?
And Grandma Lee was a cripple in a wheelchair all the rest of her life after he died. She fell in Los Angeles while visiting a daughter, broke her hip, and she'd never let them do anything to it. So she just sat in a wheelchair all the rest of her life, and someone had to take care of her.
Really?
And they've taken, this is my mother and father. It's your dad's grandpa, grandma. And, God, they've taken the trees off from theirs too. Huh.
Oh, that's strange.
But, he died in 55, and he was quite young to die.
How old was he?
56.
Wow. Of a heart attack, or?
Mm-hmm. I think your father has the writings that came out in the paper. He was a game warden, and he was down in the fields. A friend had called and said someone was poaching in the fields, so he got in the car and went down to pick him up. And when he got him and put the evidence in the trunk of the car, he doubled over with a heart attack, and they drove off and left him.
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing that story.
Yeah. But he didn't make it.
And this American Legion stamp, do you know what that's about?
He always belonged to the American Legion.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That and the Lions Club he enjoyed.
What was the Lions Club?
It was just Lions Club, just like it is today.
Really?
Uh-huh. A service club that... And Grandma, she died in 91. Gosh. She was alone for a long time.
How many years was it? It was...
91 from 01.
Wow.
So she would have been 90 the year she died. Lived a good life. That's my sister that died. And she and her husband had agreed to cremation, and I talked her husband out of it. I said, as long as my mother's alive, I don't think you could have her cremated. It really hurt her feelings. So bring her and we'll put her on Dad and Mom's lot. So he finally agreed to it, but his 2 boys never, ever forgave me.
For that?
For that. They didn't wanted to. She was in Colorado Springs. They had retired.
So was she, where in the family in terms of siblings? Was she your older sister or younger?
She was the oldest.
She was the oldest sister.
And then I was next, and then Paul was next. There were 3.
Huh.
Was Tess Charrington Robertson.
What memories do you have of her as a child or as siblings?
We used to have play dinners, and we used to serve tea, and we used to do a lot of things together, but she soon grew up. She was, 5 years older than I was. 4 years older. And she soon got her friends that were older, and they didn't want me tagging along.
She got into her teenage years, and...
So thank goodness for Lorraine, we moved into a house that her mother and father and she lived in, part of it.
Oh, really?
And so we were really close. It was two-story house, and we'd climb up those stairs and play house upstairs.
Huh.
But I've never heard from her son since
Since
the
they...
funeral.
How long ago was that?
82.
82, really?
Mhm.
Where do they live now?
One was in Seattle. He was a brain. He was just too smart for anything, and he never did get married. And the other one was in Texas. And I found him in the church, whatever, but neither one of them were active in the church at all.
Oh, really?
And Russell wasn't. He was a member when he was in Idaho and before he came to Springville. But he and Tess were never active in the church.
Hmm.
Okay, do you want to go up to Grandpa Fletcher's?
Yeah.
And we'll just walk up there. But I don't even know where my brother's buried. It's over in that other part somewhere. He died when we were still in Arizona and I didn't come home. So I don't even know where he's buried, darn it.
Is there a way to find that out on the records?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can find out and go there some other time before you go. I'll find out for you.
Sure. Let's see.
Talk about uneven. Why don't they? Look at the little Easter eggs. Somebody. Ann Whiting. Oh, and her husband hasn't died. I knew them.
Ann Whiting?
Uh-huh. She just died in 2008. She was younger than I was in school, but I knew her in school.